Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the studio for episode 29 of Digital Horizons. I am your host, Suchetha, and today we are tackling a topic that feels more urgent with every passing second: cybersecurity education in schools.
Thank you for having me, Suchetha. It is a pleasure to be here. This isn't just a technical topic, it is a fundamental safety issue for our children in the 21st century.
Exactly, and that is why we invited you, Mr. Saroon. As an educator with over 20 years of experience and a specialist in digital literacy, you have seen the landscape change drastically. Let's dive right in. Why has cybersecurity moved from a nice-to-know elective to an absolute necessity?
You know, Suchetha, we used to teach kids to look both ways before crossing the street. Today, the street is the internet, and the traffic is constant, invisible, and sometimes predatory. We are handing 5-year-olds tablets before they can even tie their shoes, yet we aren't giving them the seatbelts of digital hygiene.
That is a powerful analogy. It feels like we're throwing them into the deep end of the ocean without teaching them how to swim. I mean, I see toddlers navigating YouTube perfectly, but do they know what a phishing link looks like?
Precisely. There is a myth of the digital native. We assume that because kids are tech-savvy, they are tech-secure. That is a dangerous assumption. Being able to use an interface does not mean you understand the underlying risks of data privacy, social engineering, or malware.
It really hits home when you think about the long-term consequences. A mistake made by a 14-year-old online today, like sharing too much personal info, can haunt their digital footprint for decades. How do we even begin to implement this in a crowded school curriculum?
It has to be an integrated approach. We can't just have a Cybersecurity Friday once a year. It needs to be woven into every subject. In math, we can talk about encryption and logic. In social studies, we can discuss the ethics of data and privacy laws. It needs to be part of the school's DNA.
I love the idea of integration, but I imagine there's a lot of pushback. Teachers are already overworked. How do we support them in teaching something that is constantly evolving?
That is the biggest hurdle. Many teachers feel intimidated by technology. We need robust professional development. We can't expect a history teacher to suddenly become a network security expert overnight. We need to provide them with ready-to-use modules and constant support from IT specialists.
Thoughtfully. So it's about building a community of learning, not just dumping more work on the staff. I've also heard people talk about gamification in cybersecurity education. Does that actually work with students?
Oh, absolutely. Kids love challenges. If you give them a capture-the-flag style game where they have to identify vulnerabilities in a mock website, they engage on a level that a textbook could never achieve. It turns a scary topic into an empowering skill set.
I'd probably want to play that myself. It makes the concept of a firewall feel like a real shield in a game. But moving to the implementation side, what are the most critical basics that every school should start with tomorrow?
Authoritatively, 3 things. First, password hygiene, moving toward passphrases and multi-factor authentication. Second, identifying social engineering, teaching them to question why someone is asking for their info. And third, the permanent footprint concept, the idea that nothing online is ever truly deleted.
Worriedly. That last one is so scary. I think about the mistakes I made as a teen, but there was no social media back then to archive it all forever. Is there a way to teach this without making kids terrified of the internet?
That is a great point. We don't want to breed fear. We want to build resilience. We want them to feel like they have the tools to navigate safely, like wearing a helmet when you ride a bike. It's not about being afraid to ride. It's about being prepared for the fall.
I love that perspective. Preparation over paranoia. Now, what about the parents? Surely the school can't do this alone.
The school-home connection is vital. We can teach a child about privacy all day, but if they go home and their parents are posting their every move on public social media accounts, the message gets lost. We need parent workshops too. It's a whole of society shift.
Thoughtfully. It sounds like a massive undertaking, but the cost of doing nothing seems much higher. If a school system wants to start this journey, where is the first place they should look for resources?
Helpfully. There are amazing nonprofits and government initiatives like CyberSafe or the NIST frameworks that have adapted materials for K-12. The resources are out there, often for free. The missing ingredient is usually just the administrative will to make it a priority.
Determined. Then let's hope this episode reaches those administrators. We've talked about the why and the how, but I want to end on a hopeful note. Have you seen success stories where this training really saved a student?
Smiling. Just last month, one of my students flagged a sophisticated phishing email sent to the whole student body. He didn't just ignore it, he reported it to the IT desk. That one student's awareness protected thousands of accounts. That is the power of education.
Proudly. That is incredible. A true digital citizen in action. Mr. Saroon, thank you so much for sharing your expertise today. You've made a complex topic feel very human and very manageable.
Humbly, thank you, Suchetha. If we protect our children online, we protect the future of our society. It's as simple and as difficult as that.
Warmly. And to our listeners, thank you for tuning in to episode 29. Remember, staying safe online starts with a single conversation. Talk to your kids, talk to your teachers, and let's build a safer digital world together. Until next time, I'm Suchetha, and this is Digital Horizons. Stay safe out there.